Hey guys, this time we're working on a 2006 Mitsubishi Galant with the V6 3.8 liter. Customer complaint is doesn't run. It's a crank, no start. So turn the key on. Let's see here. Sort of check engine lights there. Everything lights up. Nothing. Alright. So obviously first things first, go to our scanner. Key on. So let's try engine. Continue. Codes. Nothing. No-comm. And you know, you can choose any menu here. You get the same thing, no-comm. I tried the other, transmission, ABS, whatever. None of these had communication. So it's crank, no start, no-comm. We break out the breakout box and look at our little LEDs. So first thing, you want to do is just look at which LEDs are lit. The green ones means that we have good ground, on chassis ground, signal ground. Now again, not foolproof, but there's continuity there. And the red light means we have power. So if we want to check that, my mini test light works fantastic with the breakout box here. So we can, if you want to verify power, ground, boom, test light lights up, see that, and test light lights up there. Okay, cool. Powers and grounds we have, and I can't shut the headlights off, so turn the key off for now so we don't drain this thing. So we don't have any blinky lights when keys on, so we have to look at a wiring diagram to see which pins this car communicates on. So let's pull that up and do a little digging. So pulling up a wiring diagram for the PCM, I'm looking for data link wires. So let's keep scrolling here. Okay, we see data link connector, pins 6 and 14. That would be our CAN high and CAN low, 6 and 14. And there's a joint connector, C02. And this thing, so let's see which modules are on pin 6 and 14. There's the multi-center display unit. There's our ABS module. These two wires go off right here. That is our combination meter. And from the ABS module, we have two wires going to this box, which is our PCM. And you can actually see that there's a terminating resistor drawn inside the PCM. That's interesting. So this is basically turning into a network diagnosis. Why do we have no signal on pin 6 and 14? So I'm going to throw the scope on those pins and see what voltages we have. So one variable here is your scan tool connected? Usually for this part I disconnect the scanner so it doesn't interfere with our measurements, because we just want to see what the car is doing, not what the scanner, talking to the car, who's producing what signal. Just get the scanner out of the picture and just focus on the car. So this is our signal with the key off. We'll turn the key on. Got a little noise, but it looks like it's staying at ground. Let's try again. Staying at ground. Okay. Let's go to CAN minus, low, key on, again. I guess we could zoom in on that. So there's definitely something trying to communicate there, but again, we're stuck at 0 volts. Interesting. So you go back to can high. And there's just a little bit of noise there. Not much going on. Let's see, let's bump up the time base a little bit. One thing I did notice was when I opened the door, so on the Varus here, we need to adjust our time scales accordingly. See? You see that? So there's something going on right there. We have like 0 to, what is it, 0 to 2 volt square waves. Interesting. Let me get a second channel so we can do high and low at the same time. Alright, let's get channel 2 rolling here. 2 volts per division should be good. So channel 1 is can high, channel 2 is can low. Let's try the... Okay, so stop that. Zoom. Here's what we had when we open and close the door. Something... is it a good signal? Is it a bad signal? It's too early to say. But I don't know what the heck was going on right here. Let's see. You know, that kind of crappy, you know, it's not a good signal. That shouldn't happen. So, Alright, so let's try key off, key on, key off, key on. Stop that. So we definitely saw something here. Obviously our can lines are down. So question is, are they shorted to ground? We can see that the green trace, we actually have some signal there, right? So let's do that again and drop the time base down so we can see more detail. Even 10 milliseconds. Off, on. You see there's something going on in the green trace, but there's nothing going on in the yellow. And they should be mirror images of each other. So I want to test this line, at least the yellow one, for a short to ground. Quickest way to do that, grab our handy dandy mini test light and go right to the DLC box. Alright, so test light from battery positive now, and I have channel 1 connected to it. So if we touch a ground, boom, test light lights up, and we can actually see the voltage on our, look at the yellow trace right there, see 0.04 volts, and that's battery voltage if I don't touch a ground. So now let's go to the can, to the network, and see if there's a direct short to ground. So on the plus, boom, that's a pretty bright test light. Let's see what the voltage does. 0.18. So not quite, you know, perfect ground, but that can positive is definitely shorted to ground somewhere. That's pretty crazy. Let's try can minus, or can low. So we drop to like 8.5 volts. So that, you know, the low is not direct short to ground, and our test light obviously does not light. You can see something's happening there. There's still something going on that line, some kind of communication. But 6, that is a direct short to ground somewhere. So the way to attack this is where's that current going? How is it being shorted to ground? We can go to the wiring diagram and see where can this current go. So let's see, we're focusing on pin 6. Let's see, pin 6 right there. So it goes to this joint connector, and then it can go 1, 2, 3 separate places. It can go to the cluster, it can go to the ABS unit, or right to the PCM, shorted out there, or even, let's see, combination meter, multi-center display unit. Oh, I guess there's 2 separate things on there, so 2 displays. I kind of want to get to this joint connector, if that's accessible, unplug everything, and then we can actually do direct short to ground tests. We know the pinouts, and see see if we get communication back. Or another option is to start unplugging modules. I guess the cluster is kind of hard to unplug. It's not killer battery. This thing's probably hard to unplug, but the ABS and the PCM I think are relatively easy to get to. So for example, if we unplug this whole ABS connector, we'll kind of cut it off here, and if our short to ground goes away, and if we can talk to our cluster, then we can kind of narrow it down. So right now we have to cut up this network and kind of bisect it and narrow down our short to ground. So here's our PCM right here. It's got like 5 jumbo connectors, and our ABS module is right here, and it just has 1 connector. So my thought is, let's start the ABS module, since it's kind of like a gateway, and if we unplug that and we get communication back with the cluster, then we'll plug that back in and then go to the PCM. So see, with the key off, right, let's try to unplug this guy. I don't know if this is going to be hard or easier. So let me figure out how to undo that, unless it's as simple as pulling up on this white thing. There's got to be some kind of lock. Alright, let me do that off camera. Okay, so there's a little tab on the side, you push and you pull this white thing out, and this whole connector just slides off. Boom. Let's look at the pins in there. They look pretty clean. Land Rover, uh-oh.
This is when you know the day has gone bad.
Oh man, I thought you were working on a Ford. Well, we'll let Keith take care of the Euro trash. Alright, let's see. Back to our scope, right. So again, let's try this. Huh. Look, there's a little flicker on there. Let's turn the key on. Let me connect CAN low. Okay, so something definitely changed. Let's connect CAN high without the test light, just the regular signal. Okay, check this out. So the voltage isn't stuck at 0 anymore. Let's zoom in on this. It's a really short time base. So let's just wait for a little signal. Turn the key off, turn the key on. Okay, stop, zoom. I just want to see what the waveforms look like. Okay, let's zoom in on an event. Alright, like this already. So CAN high is now going from 4 to, I don't know, 2 volts. Let's redo that and drop our voltage scales down. Okay, so now when we see a signal, there you go, boom. Let's stop it. Zoom in. So it's a 200 microsecond time base. So let's just pick a series of pulses. See, that doesn't look bad. At least we're going up and down, and the amplitudes are, so channel 1 is going from like 4 to 2.5, and channel 2 is going from about 1 to 2.5. So that's looking like a much better CAN signal. We actually see the little LED flickered ever so slightly there. So unplugging the ABS module, it looks like it restored our CAN high line. Now we can do the same test with the little baby test light again, just briefly. You don't want to, you know, incandescent test lights, they don't carry that much current, 300 milliamps, but when you're talking about a computer circuit, you know, you can touch it briefly, but not for too long. So again, just for kicks, let me hook up the scope. Let me save this waveform first. Keith, how many codes do you have in the Land Rover again?
That'd be 84 codes.
84 codes, okay.
84 codes.
Are you going to print them all out?
I don't know if I have enough paper, but I'll give it a try.
Alright. Alright, so we're going to repeat our short to ground test with our test light. So channel 1 is now, should be at battery voltage. I'm going to touch it on CAN positive and see if it's still shorted to ground or not. And it is not. So obviously it makes CAN low go crazy. So that definitely, unplugging the ABS module definitely changed something. One more thing I want to do while we're on here is see if we got communication back with, let's say, the display. Or, yeah, let's see, is that the our meter? Okay, I have no idea. Okay, 17 key. I have to connect my scanner. Just a second. Okay, our scanner's connected back up. And now let's go to meter and see if we have communication restored with the meter. Nice. We didn't have that before. That is awesome. So now it's let's see, airbag, bus off. Obviously it's going to store a lot of CAN codes since our ABS is unplugged and the main PCM goes through the ABS module, so at least 2 communication codes. Let's see what else is on here. TM, I'm not sure what TM is. Let's but you know what, when that line was pulled to ground, it probably just went berserk and there's no communication with anything. So actually I want to do clear codes. Yep. And then see what codes come back. See if it's only the PCM and ABS. There you go. Engine CAN timeout, active DTC. Fantastic. And just for kicks, you know, if you try to communicate with the engine, we should have no-comm since it goes through the ABS module. Yep, exactly what we expected. Let's see if we can communicate with anything else. With the airbag, we should be able to. Bus off, active DTC. Yep, so those things are back online. So now we have to see, is it the ABS module pulling that line down, or is it the PCM? We could do a quick, kind of like a bypass. let's look at our wiring diagram again. I can't stress enough how helpful wiring diagrams are in these diagnoses. So here we go. What we could do is just use a couple jumpers, jump pin 7 and 23 and 25 and 24 at the ABS module connector, and see if the PCM comes online, see if the car starts. If it does, then boom, we can condemn the ABS module, no questions asked. If the PCM does not come back online, if it like pulls it to ground or something, then we'll do more we'll do more experiments on the PCM. But the quickest thing to do here is just do a couple jumpers, 7 to 23, 25 to 24, eliminate the ABS module and hook the PCM back up. Alright, here's where the AES adapter kit shines. So we have 2 jumpers installed from pin 25 to 24, red to yellow to red. That is let's see, okay, right there. There's a red and a red yellow. So those are those 2 pins connected by this black cable. And then 7 to 23, black and yellow to black. See, there's the black and yellow right there. And there's the black right there. Those 2. And those are connected by our red jumper lead. So, in theory, now we should get communication back on our engine computer if we did everything right. So I'm this is the moment of truth. Let's go back to our scope. Key on. Alright, we have signals. Great. Let's see, off, on. And check this out. The service engine soon light comes on instantly now. Before, remember, it was like off and then you have to wait for a while. So before we crank it, let's make sure we got communication back with the engine. Uh-oh, no communication. Let's see if we still have comm with like airbag. Bus off, store DTC, okay. Let's go back to our meter. Codes only. Engine can timeout, okay. So let's clear the codes. Yes. Continue. Codes only. No codes present. So this time, remember the first time the engine timed out. This time, let's try it. No codes. Back. Let's see if we can communicate with the engine computer. Alright, so we're in the engine computer and we have all these codes. So let's try resetting them. Clear codes. Yes. Continue. Codes only. No codes in the engine computer. Let's see if we can pull up data. Powertrain. So the computer looks to be online, right? Alright, let's cycle the key off and on again. So off.
Did you see that thing I sent you? About 9 ways.
On.
I don't think it's all okay because I couldn't find one good reason.
Still a crank no start. We have our data. Let's see if we have an RPM signal. Let's customize that. Deselect all. Just RPM list view. Let's try it. Crank it. We do have an RPM signal. Why is it not starting? Good question. Well, we got communication back, Keith.
Got communication back to PC.
Yep, we got data, we got RPM. It's still a no start.
Still a no start. Code?
Let's read the codes. No codes present. So you're saying we're not done?
Well, it looks that way, right?
All right, guys. Let's think of the next logical step for a crank no start with no codes. Maybe it's you know, who knows? Flooded out. Maybe we have no spark.
No security light on. Just to verify. Nothing there.
Okay.
Security light is up on the center, top center of the dash.
Oh, the
See
little
red LED.
blinky?
Yep.
So go ahead.
Nothing there.
Give it some gas. It's a little stubborn. The battery's probably getting a little weak.
I don't hear any fuel pump.
No fuel pump.
I don't
Okay.
hear it. Want to cycle that key on and off? No?
Sure. Yeah, the battery's getting low, but off, on,
Okay.
off, on.
I don't hear anything.
Let's see. Can we go functional tests? Fuel pump. We can actually bidirectionally control the fuel pump.
Oh, let me get back here again.
It says it's activated.
Now it's on.
Is it?
Yep.
Actuator test complete. Okay. Oh, I can hear it from here.
Yeah.
But it wasn't on when you.
It was not on when you were doing the key on and off, so maybe not. It
It might not have a prime. Okay, so where do we go from here? Let's just check for codes one more time. No codes, and our battery's getting low, so we need a boost pack on here, and let's check for the next easiest thing. Let's check for spark.